Hello, Pete Moriarty here. We are doing this for the second time again. We had some problems with the stream, but I am here and it should be rocking and rolling now. Fingers crossed. If you can hear me and see me okay, drop a comment, say hello. We are covering the news, everything that is the latest and the greatest in the Google Workspace world. And we like to cover this about once a month, let you know what's new in Google Workspace. And so I'm going to be covering everything it's pretty easy to get to. It's on the Google Workspace blog, but I understand that we're all busy people and we don't always have time to get to it. And I try and take out the best things, the best new features, the best things that are useful for small and medium-sized business owners or IT leaders and help you to demystify it, make it valuable for you, give my comment, give my thoughts. There's heaps of kind of like weird things that they add from time to time, like this one here, enabling classification labels for specific Google Workspace applications. I mean, some of these kind of things are just like a little bit in the who cares basket. So that's why I've picked out my best ones. Got about 10 or 12 things to go through here. And I'm going to do a little demo at the end of a new feature that I've not yet tried out. I'm going to see if it works in production. But if you're new to the channel, we are experts in Google Workspace. We help small and medium-sized businesses systemize, organize, and scale using technology. So that means if you're someone who's responsible for the IT in your business, if you're wearing the IT hat and you are the person that your team go to help set up users, to fix their Google Drive sharing, to set policies inside the business about what tech should be used and what tools you're using inside the business, then this channel is all about helping to educate and empower you to play a bigger game in your business. More productive teams mean more productive businesses. Happier staff mean happier business owners. It all goes around and around. So if we can help you to run a better business with good technology strategy, we know that's going to reverberate to your team, and that's going to reward you, your team, and your customers in the community. That's a good thing for everyone involved. Okay, I'm in Abu Dhabi today. Lucky me. It's early morning here, but thankfully not the middle of the night to do our stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the news. So our first one is importing and exporting of Markdown in Google Docs. And this is a new one that's been added specifically to be able to use Markdown language. Now, if you don't know what that means, I don't really know what it means either. Markdown language, I believe, is mostly used by writers who want to be able to get information in and out of different apps and have the formatting stay consistent. That's my understanding of it. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments, sound off. But Google did not support Markdown for a long time inside of Google Docs. And that was something that people who want Markdown and use Markdown were unhappy with. And so Google not only brought Markdown support to Google Docs fairly recently, but they've now given you the ability to import and export your Markdown as well. Now, again, I don't know exactly what that process looks like of importing or exporting. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if you're someone who's watching this, what do you use Markdown for? If you're someone who uses Markdown. My understanding is it's mostly writers that use it, or maybe online content publishers. I'm assuming someone wants to be able to write something in a Google Doc and then have it appear the same when you import it into something like WordPress or some kind of publishing platform, because you can cut and paste things and they don't always appear the same no matter where you put them. So yeah, let me know if that's useful for you. Great. That's a little one that I thought I would mention. Next up, Gemini is now available. Well, what they're basically saying is you're now able to mention your apps inside of Gemini. So you can see here, you can add Gmail, you can add Google Docs, you can add Google Drive inside Gemini, and you can then start asking them questions about your data. Now, I haven't tested this one. You can see it was released just 10 days ago. I'm very curious to see how this goes. It's been getting better and better and better, but I'm not yet convinced that Gemini is an absolute slam dunk. Personally, I still spend a lot of time using GPT. I love that they've got a desktop app now for my Mac, which makes it really fast to get in there on a native computer. And there's just complex queries that are handled so much better inside of GPT. I use Gemini as my excuse me. I use Gemini as my primary language model for about 6 months and really did my best to, as we call it, eat the dog food and try and do things the Google way. And I've made some videos on the channel about what my thoughts were, what my experiences were. unfortunately, it still comes in as, I don't want to say Pepsi to Coke because Pepsi is actually better than Coke, but it still comes in as a bit of a wish.com GPT. It's good and it's there and it can do some clever things in my Gmail now, like reading emails. It can help me write a document or summarize a document that one of my team have given me without having to cut and paste that data into GPT. So it's faster in a few small ways. But is it yet an absolute surefire? Yes, I will pay to roll this out to my whole team. No. 5 people have licenses in our business out of 60, senior executives, a couple of other staff who want to demo it to customers if customers are interested. But we've not yet found a use case where it makes sense to pay for it for everyone. And the API of GPT has been fantastic. And when we've been connecting Zaps and automations using a language model, we've chosen to use GPT for that. Let me give you an example of what I use GPT for, because I think you'll like this one. And if you're interested in our team to set this up for you, they'll very happily set this up for you. So I set up a newsroom inside my Google Workspace chat room. And basically, this is based on a Google Alerts feed. So if you're not familiar with Google Alerts is an online, I guess, a news wire where you can configure the kind of searches for new content that you want to have alerts come to you for. So if you say want to receive articles on, in my case, Google Workspace, it's going to search the web for all the new articles that come out about Google Workspace, and then it's going to send you an alert. Now, the cool thing about Google Alerts is it gives you pretty much everything that's happening on the internet because Google's crawling the whole internet every day. The downside is it can be a bit overwhelming. You get a lot of information. It's one of those things where you probably don't have time to like sit there and read through it all. As a busy business owner, as I'm assuming you are, and everyone's busy these days, business owner or not, you may not be able to have time to sift through and read through all those articles. So we created a summarizer, and that's a very simple query in Zapier. It takes that feed or the articles from that feed, it goes and it reads the article, it summarizes the article, and then it puts that article into a chat room, which we call the newsroom. So it's going to let us know who the publisher is. It's going to rewrite its own title, and then it's going to give us a summary of the article. And I really love that because effectively what that does is it's like an assistant for me, just getting the best news headlines. It's letting me know who is actually publishing the article because some publishers I care more about than others, particularly in the tech space. Some of them are just junk content marketing, and some of them are actually pretty decent publications, and they all have different angles and biases. So I want to see who's publishing. But that then goes here into my Google chat. That all happens with a tool called Zapier, which sits in the middle. And we grab those articles from a Google Alerts feed. Nice and simple, right? I have not been able to get that to work with Gemini. Gemini just doesn't do it as well. We chose to use GPT and GPT's API for that. So that's just yet another example. But let's go ahead and have a look at our Google Workspace here. I'm going to try this out in Gemini now, and let's see if I can mention my drive, and let's see what I can find. So I'm going to now, and the other challenge is here we go. Oh wow, thank you. They've given us some extensions. The other challenge is sometimes being an Australian account, I get features after others in the world. So every now and again, Google will announce something and I just won't get it. Anyway, I'll say Google Drive. Will let me mention Google Drive. Okay, that doesn't seem to be. Google Drive. Show me what I worked on yesterday. Let's see if that helps. See if that works. Okay, it's given me instructions to go to Google Drive, right? Okay, do I have to add it in somewhere? You know what? It wouldn't hurt to go back to the article and let's see when it is going to be rolled out. Google Workspace extensions not available to Workspace users accessing Gemini as an additional Google service. I assume I'm accessing Gemini. Oh, I see. Okay, we have to switch on extensions. Okay, so first we're going to go and switch on extensions here. We'll do that in the admin panel. If you haven't been to the admin panel before, admin.google.com. You've got to be the administrator for your account. Let's go ahead and sign in. I have a bit of a weird skin condition on my finger, which means that my fingerprint reader never works. Never works. All right, so we're going to go into our admin panel and we're going to switch on Gemini extensions. Usually getting around the admin panel, easiest thing to do is to search. That's usually how you can find things. All right, so we've got alpha features switched on. Allow users to request licenses. That's also turned on. Okay, so where's my additional features? Okay, let's go back to where's our help article. Extensions. Okay, let's go and search for extensions. Apps and extensions. I don't think that's the right one. Workspace extensions. And here is where I'm going to get a bit sad, because I've got a feeling this may not yet be enabled for my account. But let's keep looking at our other options. Oh, here we go. Ta-da! I found it. Lucky me. Okay. So if you go to your admin panel, you're going to go to Generative AI, the main Gemini menu up the top there, and then we're going to switch on Workspace extensions. Okay. Let's give that a minute or two. We'll do one more news article, and then I'll come back to that, because it can take a few minutes for that to switch on. Okay, our next article: pre-configuring meeting notes, recordings, and transcripts from the calendar invite. So if you've not already, I'll say, dicked around with your calendar, your Google Meet settings, you can do some pretty cool things inside a meeting. You can record a meeting, you can transcribe a meeting, you can have live captions translated into other languages now, which is very cool. So you're in a Google Meet, everyone's speaking in English. I'm learning Spanish at the moment, and I switch my captions to Spanish, and I can just read what people are saying in Spanish. It's amazing. Anyway, what Google's saying here is you can start to switch these things on automatically in the Meet scheduled meeting in your calendar, which is amazing, because often our team will ask, hey, can everyone, as a rule, record all the management meetings in the company? Because we like to have a record. And of course, inevitably, you need to go back to something 6 months ago. And it's just always great to be able to go back to a recording or a transcript and find information easily. But not everyone remembers to record. And we have to beat it into our team to record every meeting and remind them. And sometimes people record, but then they don't transcribe. Transcribing is really good because you can use it to train AI models. Anyway, Google have finally given us this option now, yay, to record a meeting. Lucky us. Isn't that awesome? All you need to do is set it up in the calendar event. Now I'm going to go to my calendar here, and whoops, I don't even have my calendar open. All right, let me go and find my calendar. And let's go create an event, and let's see if I've got the option there. Okay, so I'm going to say test event. And I assume it's going to be here in more options. I think I have to add a Google Meet recording first, and then it's probably going to be in my Meet options. So click on video call options here next to the Meet. Meeting records. There we go. Wow. Look at that. That is darn impressive. I got to say, it is not often I'm genuinely excited about a new feature. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Google make a lot of incremental updates, and I've kind of seen everything these days. But that's not bad, Google. Golf clap. Well done. All right. Let's see if anyone is live and on the stream. Make sure you say hi, by the way. If you are on the live stream, say hello. I'm going to go ahead and check my comments, which I'm not even sure where to check them. I had a problem with my stream software, so I'm using a different method that I normally do. Okay, say hi if you can. Say hi on the chat. Oh, here we go, chat button. All right. And by the way, if you're interested in asking me a question at any time, you can head to ask.itgenius.com. And you can punch a question in there. I go live from time to time and just go through a whole bunch of your questions, answer them, make them into videos. They obviously go up on the channel. But if you've got a specific question that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and drop it in. All right, JD is on the live saying hello. G'day, JD, and g'day, Candice. Thank you so much for being here. And Darby as well. Thank you for being here. Great to have you here. It's a little bit lonely when I'm all by myself on the stream. So wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining. Okay, let's go back to Gemini. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have our Google Drive extension app working. Now, I don't know if it's going to pop up and tell me anything. I mean, we did switch it on, but let me just try again. I'm going to try and mention Google Drive. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'll type in test. New chat. No. I'll do a shift restart. Settings. Here we go. Extensions. Okay, so I'm in the bottom left hand. It's obscured by my camera. Bottom left hand, settings, and then extensions. Here we go. Google Workspace extension. I've got to turn it on. All right. Thank you. We're getting there. We're gonna get this done. I can feel it. It's gonna work. Okay. Let's try another one here. We're gonna go to @Google Drive. Oh, look at that. Okay. So I hit the button, and my little extensions showed up there. So @Google Drive. What did I look at yesterday? All right, that's pretty cool. I looked at some transcripts while I had a couple of meetings. I looked at a position description. I looked at a script that my team sent me. That's pretty cool. And it's given me the links to the documents. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's try @Gmail. Hold on. Summarize my 5 most important emails from yesterday. That will be an interesting one. This is going to really push it. I'm really curious about this. I mean, I get hundreds of emails every day, so I'd love to see what happens with this. All right, interesting. Okay, balance from my Amex. That's our business card. By the way. That's not me shopping. I wish I had that kind of budget each month for shopping. QR e-booking. Okay. Oh, geez, I've got airline bookings on here. That's probably not a good idea. Okay. Well, if you want to go ahead and change my, flights, you've got my airline bookings now. Our team will have to go back and blank those out. Okay. Well, this is pretty impressive, to be honest. I can see the top 5 emails from yesterday. They've summarized them and they've pulled out obviously key information and just broadcast it to the internet, which is great. So that's pretty impressive. I'm pretty happy with this. Google they're getting there with Gemini. I've got to say, with this switched on, it might be worth a license. For you as a business owner, probably time for you to get one. And then you can maybe run a test with a couple of your staff and see whether or not it's worthwhile getting them involved as well. Okay, so just to confirm the steps, if you want to enable Gemini connecting to your Google Workspace, there's a couple of steps you've got to do. Number 1, you've got to go to your Google Workspace account. You go to the admin panel. Inside the admin panel, you go to Generative AI, then Gemini, and then you're looking for Workspace extensions. Right now it's in beta. You're going to switch that on. Wait 5 or 10 minutes, then go to Gemini, and inside Gemini, you're going to go to Settings and then Extensions, and you're going to switch on the Google Workspace extension. Once you've switched that on, you go to a new chat, reload the screen if you need to. From there, you can hit the key to start mentioning an extension, and it should pop up automatically and give you the Google Workspace extensions to go ahead and play with. There you go. Time to test out some better Google Workspace interoperability with Gemini. I mean, this is what we were promised, right? This is the only reason I would pay for this over GPT. GPT I'm already paying for. It's already great. If I want to do something real complex, really language-based, or I want, advanced reasoning, just a smarter brain, I'm going to use GPT. Gemini, the only reason I'm going to use it is if it does smart shit with my Google Workspace account. So well done, Google. It's been switched on, and let's test it out. Let me know what you think in the comments if you followed that on. Let me know. Okay. So JD has said, I'm new to AI advancements. Do you have a subscription to Gemini or is it free? So this is where it gets a bit weird, because Gemini itself you can access with a Gmail account. So you can do a lot of things in Gemini with a Gmail account. But Google are now selling licenses for Google Workspace if you want to use Gemini with your Workspace account. I'm going to fry your noodle a bit. Stay with me. You can still, or until recently, it may have changed, you could still go to gemini.google.com with your business account and use it for free. So why did they start charging us licenses? Well, it's because they started adding features like in my Google Drive, in the side panel now, there is a Gemini side panel here. And I can, as you can see here, ask questions about my Google Drive, which I've had limited responses, limited results with so far. The final piece of the puzzle is inside the Gemini interface, being able to add and mention one of my Google apps and start pulling in data from here, from the interface, is starting to get to the point where this is a product worth paying money for. Up until now, it's been a little undercooked, if I'm honest. But we're getting there, which is pretty good. Now, if you want to check out the cost of the licenses, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's in your admin panel. And even if you're connected to a reseller right now, you can actually purchase this direct from Google. A lot of our reseller community are very upset about that because Google's basically cutting them out of the deal. If you're a customer of ours already, I mean, it helps to send us a couple of bucks. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help us if you want to buy it through us. Or if you're not yet a customer and you want to try it out, sure, get in touch. We'd love that. But if you're directly billing with Google, or maybe you've bought your Workspace account with someone like Squarespace, you just go into your admin panel and then you go to billing and then subscriptions. And from there, you're going to look for Gemini Enterprise. You can see it's a Workspace add-on, and we've got our 5 licenses assigned there. Okay, cool. Oh, and maybe we've blown past our Amex because it's not paying the Google bill. It's pretty funny. All right, cool. So let's move on to our next bit of news. Next bit of news is a new experience for data regions reporting. What does that mean? Well, in Google Workspace, if you have an enterprise plan and you are very particular about where your data is stored, if you're maybe working in the financial services or high-end consulting or the medical or allied health fields, maybe you're a hospital, maybe you have some kind of compliance in your industry, which means that you want to keep your data in a particular region. Well, what this option does, the data regions options, is it lets you choose different regions for where your data is stored. You'll see here that Google has distinguished now that that's data at rest, because there's a difference between data at rest, which is data that's stored, and data that's in transit, or the word for that is being processed. Because data might be processed, for example, if I'm based in Australia and I'm in Sydney at the time, and I upload a file to Google Drive, it gets put on the Sydney server for Google Drive for just a few moments to a minute to maybe an hour, I don't know how long, before it then goes to Google's other servers all over the world in different places. And it's obviously saved in multiple different geographies to make sure that if anything happened in one place, I'm not going to lose any of my data. Now, that's called processing. And many privacy laws, if you look at GDPR for Europe, for the EU, Australia has Australian privacy principles. The US has a number of different privacy acts, and then there's like medical privacy acts like HIPAA, I think is the US one. All of those have their own definition of how your data needs to be managed when it's at rest. So that's where it's just sitting somewhere saved, but also when it's being processed, which means in transit. So what this is referring to is it's saying, okay, you get a new experience for reporting. What it's basically saying is it's going to tell you where things are being processed. You can see here there's different options for storage and processing, or storage only, United States, Europe, They may be I'm not sure if they're the only regions available or not. I haven't personally rolled this out for our customers. I know our enterprise team have, but effectively, you'll be able to see there exactly what's happening with your data. And so for your compliance or your reporting requirements, if you have those, that makes that a little bit better. It is important because even the Australian privacy principles, if you're a business that's over, I think it's $4 million in revenue in Australia, even if you're a small business, if you're over that revenue threshold, you have additional requirements placed upon you for protecting customer data, protecting the personal information, particularly of Australians, and also what needs to happen if you have some kind of data breach or some kind of incident with customer data becoming exposed. And this is the point where I say hashtag I'm not a lawyer, so you need to seek your own advice for this. But my understanding is that you need to make sure that you've taken the reasonable best steps to protect your customers' data right across the chain of where that data is, at rest, in progress or in processing, and then at the user end, which is where people are accessing it as well. What does that mean in simple terms? Well, it means like if you've got a staff member working at home and they're signed into their computer on the kitchen table and there's no password on that computer, one of their kids can jump on, maybe they go to a dodgy website, it downloads some malware, all of a sudden you've got some keystroke software and someone's potentially getting into your business data. What does that look like in terms of a breach? Well, that looks like someone using your staff email account, the actual email account of your staff member, and emailing you and saying, hey, we've got to pay the supplier bill, or hey, the Amex needs to be paid. And you transfer money to the wrong bank account and then poof, it's gone. It disappears. Those are the most common hacks that are happening right now. They're called a phishing attack because someone's phishing for your information, but they're the most common attacks that can happen right now. So it's important for you to protect your business. It's important for you to protect your users. If you want to have a conversation about that, or you'd like some guidance on the kind of policies that you can set up inside Google Workspace, but also more broadly on like locking down computers, all those kind of things, you can have a chat to our team. They will perform an audit on your Google Workspace account and your IT stack as well. And they'll help you to find ways that you can improve your security and make sure that you and your team are protected. All right, not a bad feature there. All right, next one, bit of a minor one, but just in case you are interested, you can now add 500,000 people to a space in a Google chat, which is pretty wild. I don't have anyone who needs to use that. Most of our customers are small business, or we call them mid-market in Australia, but it's really a big small business, 100, 500,000 people in the organization. I don't know what you would use this for, but that's pretty awesome. The next question we usually get is, how many guests can you add? I don't know if this is limited to just internal or internal and external. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy. Went from 8,000 to 50,000 and then 10xing that. That's pretty damn cool. All right, good for you. Good for the engineers at Google, huh? They're doing their job. They're scaling it up. Okay, next up, another pretty simple one: improving calculation speed in Google Sheets. That's just going to make Sheets faster. I'd love to know from you, do you still use Excel for anything? Like, some people I know are real Excel nerds, and I say that with love, but they just don't want to use Sheets for their more complex data analysis. I'd love to know, is there anyone still left in our community that still uses Excel for certain things? Workspace has, and look, I'm a pretty basic spreadsheet person. I'll say that. Workspace has pivot tables. Workspace has formulas. Workspace can bring in live, Forex exchange rates. Workspace can do data lookups between different sheets and have them updated live. Workspace has a brilliant API to bring data in and out. For me, there's no reason to use anything else if I get the amazing collaboration, a couple of AI features that are okay in Google Sheets. I've then got things like being able to integrate into a form and automatically have them just talk to each other. All those make it an absolute no-brainer to use Sheets for absolutely everything. But I'd love to know from you, are you still using it for anything else? Excel, that is. Let me know. Okay, cool. Let's go to our next bit of news. Okay. Gemini in the side panel of Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Slides is rolling out now into general availability. Okay, well, that's the one that I showed off earlier. Not that exciting. I assumed it was a beta previously that I switched on, but now it's rolling out to everyone, I guess. Okay, cool. Thanks, Google. Only a year too late. All right. Okay, next up, adding data loss prevention to form content in Google Forms. Okay, this is an interesting one. So DLP, this is another enterprise feature. If you're a mid-sized company or you're someone who needs particular controls around the personal or private information of your customers, maybe you're a chiropractor or you're a law firm or you're a finance broker and people are sending you their tax returns, or you've got x-rays with people's body parts and all those kind of things stored in your Google Drive, you can make the Google ecosystem compliant. # I'm not a lawyer, but you can make it compliant to most of the privacy protections that you need done for different businesses. But in most cases, you need to upgrade to the enterprise plan, the enterprise SKU, and you've got to switch on a bunch of buttons in the background. Our team specialize in doing that if you want some help getting compliant with things, because we know what buttons to press and how to set it up correctly. But DLP is pretty central to that. Data loss prevention is what that stands for. And it basically means if one of your staff accidentally pastes someone's Medicare or Social Security number into an email and they go to send it in plain text, because emails are not encrypted, this will flag that is personal information and quarantine the email. If someone has a document sitting in Google Drive and that document has the personal identifiable information of one of your clients, like maybe a tax return or maybe their credit card number, you can configure DLP to disallow anyone to download a file like that onto their local computer. So if they're working from home, you don't want them to accidentally or on purpose download a file with someone's personal information in it. That would be a pretty bad breach of your customer's privacy. So that's what DLP does. They are adding in this update DLP to forms. So I don't know if that means you can't put stuff into the form. Or here we go. With DLP, forms with sensitive content can be blocked from being viewed or responded to by external individuals. Yeah, I guess it just locks down forms being shared. I thought it stopped you putting data in plain text. But this all gets pretty advanced here, and this is the kind of thing that our engineers do, not me. So if you're interested in DLP, have a chat to our team and they'll be happy to help you out with that. They're very, very good at getting all that set up. Okay, this is an amazing update. This next one is another one I'm genuinely impressed with. Google have been upping their Google Meet experience over the years after COVID, where they had to turn the quality down on everyone. Now they've been ramping things back up. Now most things are back to normal in most areas of the world. This diagram explains pretty much all you need to know about this news update, in that if you've got a bunch of people using Google Meet in one office or just in one location, could be a co-working space, you'll see here that everyone needs to access the internet and the bottleneck becomes the router. Usually your internet connection becomes the bottleneck, not so much the speed of your local computer. But with these new enhanced features, I'm assuming this is only going to work for people in the same organization. I don't know, but that would be my assumption. Meet is going to let different computers talk to each other and optimize the signal. Now, I'm assuming if you've got two staff that are sitting in one office and you've got one remote third party, my understanding is right now that everyone sends that data up to Google and then back down again. But if you've got two people sitting next to each other, their signal is going out to Google and back. This, it appears to be saying, is going to share some data between them. I assume that then means that those two people who are in the same office are just going to get data from each other. That sounds like what it is. That sounds pretty cool. So let's have a look at the nitty-gritty of the details, see if we can find anything. Blah, 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 blah. Each user sends the individual feed. The backend will send media to significantly lower number of clients on the network, redistribute media, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it will be off by default, can be enabled at the group level. A little bit useless for us because we don't have an office and everyone works from home in different places. But let's go check it out. Let's see if it's there. ECDN. So we're going to go to our admin panel. Search is the best place to find anything. ECDN. Let's just see if that pops up in my... No. Okay, cool. So it mustn't have been rolled out to my account yet. When is this happening? 1 to 3 days starting. Oh, okay, 2 days ago. Gotcha. Okay, so that's going to happen that's going to happen pretty quickly. I'm very interested. I assume it's not just Chromebooks, but it's also Google Chrome as well, because it says be on Chrome 121 or later. It doesn't say be on a Chromebook in Chrome, but good for Google. It reduces latency, reduces consumption of internet resources, which are pretty much like greenhouse gases, effectively, just in another form. Okay. Second to last, policy visualization across docs, sheets, slides, and Drive. Now, this is another DLP enterprise focus feature. You'll see here in the little GIF as it shows up, if you have certain restrictions on a document, like, because of the content of this document, you are not able to print it or you're not able to make a copy of it. This is basically saying it's just going to show you what restrictions are there in a policy. So if someone's like curious about, okay, what restrictions are on this document, it's going to be there so they can see it. Otherwise, I guess they're guessing, or they go to download something and they're like, hey, why won't it download? So there we go. That's a nice little feature. But our last one, which I'm really excited about, is e-signatures in Google Workspace. You can now manage access to e-signatures, and it means you can either switch on or off the use of e-signatures. Now, I haven't personally tested this out yet because it was one of those things that just didn't come to my account on time. But I want to double check that it's actually switched on for our org, and then I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys how it works if we can work it out. I haven't actually had a look at it yet myself, so we can give it a little testaroo. Okay, cool. So it's switched on for our organization, which is great. Okay, users with cloud identity can't get access. That's fair enough. They don't have access to Drive. And then we also had e-signatures and e-signature requests. These are both the same. Okay, great, cool. So let's go and start a new document. The easiest way to do that is to go to doc.new. That's going to open up a fresh document for you in a new page. All right, let's put some text in, and then let's see if we can request a signature. Okay, cool. So it's right here in my tools menu. I hit tools, and then I go e-signature. And here we go, fillable fields. I can drop in e-signature, and then I can request an e-signature. Very, very cool. I won't go through the whole process, but if you're interested in trying that out, go ahead and try that out. You can see here there's different fields and whatnot that you can put in, or you can even auto put in a date field automatically when they sign it. All right, let me know if you've been using that. I'd love to know. E-signatures, that's pretty cool to have them in there so you don't have to pay for yet another app. Cool. All right. From JD Holland says, I use Excel to download data and then import them into Google Sheets. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I do that from time to time. And another question here, would e-signature replace something like DocuSign? Yeah, effectively. I don't know how sophisticated it is because I personally haven't used it myself, but it could very well replace that. The kind of place where I see this as being useful is if you imagine, you're a business owner, you're probably paying for all these tools yourself. E-signatures, DocuSign, what else would we pay for? Maybe a calendar scheduling app. Maybe you pay for Canva, right? As you grow and as you scale your business, you start ending up in a situation where your team need to start using tools. And you've got this choice. You can choose the best-in-class tool, which might be another $20 a month per person. You've got to roll out to 5 people or roll out to 10 people. Or sometimes, if Google can do it the Google way, even if it's not as good, a Google form is not quite as pretty as SurveyMonkey. A Google signature document is not quite as feature-rich, I'm sure, as DocuSign or EchoSign or Adobe Sign or whatever they're called these days. But if you've got to roll it out to 10 people, could you save the $200 a month and invest it somewhere else in the business by doing things the Google way, which may be a little bit simpler? That's my point for doing things the Google way as much as possible. For those that are using Slack instead of Google Chat, same argument. For those that are using Dropbox, I don't know why you would, instead of Google Drive, same argument. Anyone who's using third-party tools and applications that are just contributing to subscription overwhelm, my recommendation is if you can get it done, do it the Google way. Same with Microsoft, right? Like, if you can get it done without Excel and you don't have to pay $100 a year or whatever it is to to all of your staff for their Office licensing, then don't bother. Don't bother. Just do it the Google way. Find a way to do it the Google way. That's my philosophy anyway. All right. If you're new around here and you haven't yet connected with us, connect for a free consultation by heading to itgenius.com. You just go to the consultation page here, put in your details on the thank you page. You'll be able to schedule a call with one of our team. If you want to just do an audit on your Google Workspace account, have a chat to the team about what's working, what's not working. Consider either our concierge program, which is an all-you-can-eat IT service for Google Workspace. Very, very affordable, and we support all these apps. And so, we'll build workflows for you in Asana. We'll connect Zaps between different apps if you want your data management kind of managed and sorted. If you want to roll out a CRM or like a customer shared mailbox system, Copper and Hive, we're global partners with both of those guys. Dialpad is an amazing cloud phone system. Basically, all these apps are included, all the support and the integration and the consulting for all these apps is included in Concierge. Then you just pay for the licenses. But most of all, people will come to us and say, can you just be there when I need help? And your staff can rely on us. You can rely on us if you want to jump on a meet or a call or a live chat because you can't find the right formula for your Google document, or you want to set up some group-based permissions in your Google Drive. That's what Concierge is for, where you're on call, or you can eat IT department. We service Australian and America's or APAC and America's business hours. So we're 16 hours of coverage, not yet 24 hours. If you're based in Europe, it's a little bit harder. But if you're happy to work into your early morning, that works for us. Now, if you just need something small done, if you've just got one thing that you want checked or fixed or become unbroken if it's broken, then check out our Quick Fix. It's an instant IT support service. You can chat to our team right now. It says bot there, but there's actually humans behind there. You can chat to our team right now, tell them what your problem is, and if you need it fixed, you just purchase, it's a couple of $100, a quick fix, and our team will immediately jump onto it. People tend to use that if they want their DNS records checked, set up DKIM or DMARC to make sure you don't go to people's spam. Maybe you've been locked out of your account. Maybe, I don't know, you've lost a file in Google Drive and you want it recovered. Maybe you accidentally deleted some data and you need help getting it back. All those kind of things. If you just want a one-off for that team, you can jump onto a quick fix. And of course, if you sign up to Concierge, you get all you can eat quick fixes. So it's just basically like unlimited. Very simple business. You either buy a one-time thing, or if you want to sign up, you get all you can eat. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining. If you've been on the live, if you're on the repeat, then drop me a hashtag repeat and say hello as well. We got more questions coming through. All right, I'm gonna nail these questions before I wrap up here. What's the right way of sharing drawings and PDF files to external clients and contractors when external people are using WhatsApp more? Yeah, well, look, that's certainly a challenge. If you're an architect or you have an architecture firm, my strong recommendation would be that you ask for someone's Gmail account and you put that Gmail account into a security group for contractors. What does that look like? Well, let me jump into my admin panel here. Every business should have a security group for contractors. You set that up in the groups service in Workspace, and you'll see, I won't go into it because I've got some email addresses of other people. But yeah, basically we've got contractors, and those contractors will be in a Google group. And then when I set up a shared drive inside my Google Drive, a shared drive will be something like, where's our training drive? Here we go. Something like our training drive. I'll go to manage members. Contractors are not on that one. That's interesting. They're probably on the marketing here. Okay, cool. So contractors have been added as a group here. And that means that if I onboard a new contractor, all I have to do is add them to the right group. They'll automatically get access to any of the resources that have been shared with that group. I've got a guide on this on our channel. If you head to our channel, let me just close a few of my tabs here. I'm starting to run out of room. Okay, so if you go to our channel and you search for shared drive, we've got it's about 30 minutes long. I'm going to try and find it. Maybe search drive permissions. That's probably better. If you search drive permissions, we should find it. It's making a liar out of me. I got way too many videos on Drive. Okay. Share Drive permissions. There we go. Ta-da. How to get your Google Drive permissions right. Okay. That's a full masterclass basically on setting up group-based permissions and how to apply them to shared drive. So it looks like this. And then we go through all the different, permissions levels and all those kind of things. So that's all available for you for free on our channel. Go check out that video. And you'll see here that when I share something with a contractor, I'm very careful to allow them to add and edit files, but not delete them. Now, they're the contractors that we're working with. If you've got a contractor and they just need to see architecture plans, you might make them viewer only or commenter only, so they can't change anything or they can't delete anything. The other cool option for contractors is if you right-click on a shared drive and you go to shared drive settings, I would recommend you untick this box, allowing people to download, print, and copy. If you don't want anyone to make a copy of things, especially contractors, you untick this box and it restricts people from downloading or copying, which is pretty cool. That's a good question. Thanks for asking that one. All right, and next, what about Airtable? Do you all work with Airtable integrations with Zaps? Yeah, our team will be able to work with Airtable with Zapier, definitely. It's not an official, so we won't build workflows in Airtable for you. But if you have a workflow and you want to just connect it to Airtable, easy. That's fine. If you ask the team nicely, they might even do some Airtable stuff, but they'd have to have an engineer get to know the system. So we're like a technology virtual assistant service. We're there to help make your tech stuff happen. And our team are very, very helpful at that. And you'll get a project manager who will project manage whatever you want to have built. Got a team of engineers, team of consultants, project managers, Google experts, computer scientists, all basically designed to be as useful as possible for small business owners. So if that sounds good, sign up to Concierge. You can buy it online if you want, get started. Or if you want to just do an audit, have a chit chat to our team, there's a consultation there as well. All right, I'm going to wrap it there. Thanks so much for coming. Say hello if you're on the repeat. Otherwise, if you want to connect with me personally, head along to peter.tv. From there you can connect with me on socials and whatnot.